this point, it's over. That whole Sky Barbie thing, that thing is over. Angel Reese is done in Chicago. They're going to move on. They have to. With what Courtney Vandersloot just came back and said, Courtney Vandersloot just smoked Angel Reese. And you know who else is going in on Angel Reese? You got Nightcap with Unk and Ocho, Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson going in on this Angel Reese situation. She didn't think it was going to go this way.
If you're going to go at a legend, you better not miss. As we know, Angel Reese come out this week. She absolutely crushed her own teammates into the dust, and she even decided to go after a legend, the legendary Courtney Vandersloot, who, of course, blew out her ACL at the beginning of the season, and she is in the midst of making a comeback. And, of course, Angel Reese made some comments that were none too kind to a legend. Angel Reese will be lucky if she has a third of the career.
Courtney Vandersloot has spoken her mind. And to put it simply, it wasn't in the slightest bit subtle. When you're a 5-time All-Star and a 2-time WNBA champion, and you fire back at Angel Reese, a rookie turned sophomore with a penchant for stirring controversy, you know the situation has escalated beyond just another locker room squabble. This isn't just another spat between teammates or a few harsh words thrown in passing. When a player with the stature of Vandersloot responds, it signals that the storm surrounding Reese has now reached its breaking point. It's no longer a simple disagreement. It's a full-blown conflict, and the Chicago Sky locker room is not only fractured, it's actively leaking. So, the real question becomes, is Angel Reese already burning bridges faster than she can build them?
Rookie team. Angel will not have the career that Courtney Vandersloot has had. She won't. You know why? Because I don't think the league's going to tolerate her long enough. She's going to run her mouth until she just ends up jumping from team to team until she does what I think she should do right now.
From the moment Reese stepped into the WNBA, she's been surrounded by controversy. Whether it was a tumultuous time at LSU or her transition into the professional ranks, she's become synonymous with chaos. She's been unapologetic, riding that wave of drama to stardom. Yet, there comes a time when that brand of chaos no longer serves you, especially when it's aimed at established legends like Courtney Vandersloot. Why? Because if you're going to take shots at the legends of the game, you better land them. And in this case, Reese's attempt to take down Vandersloot missed by a mile badly.
I don't know, Angel Reese. This is what Courtney Vandersloot had to say. She's firing off. Angel Reese, you got her twisted. She said, contrary to what people think, what people say or think, my age is actually not a factor. I am coming back. This is after Angel Reese said, yeah, Sloot is old. We need somebody young that can do this, that got some experience, but we need somebody young. She too old. I don't know if she can come back from that torn ACL.
Courtney Vandersloot isn't just another player on the roster. She's a player whose career is built on a foundation of consistent excellence. Let's break down her accomplishments. 5-time All-Star, 7-time assist champion, and a 2-time WNBA champion. Her credentials aren't up for debate. Her resume speaks for itself. And that's not something you could dismiss with a casual comment. Angel Reese, however, didn't seem to get the memo. She made a public statement questioning Vandersloot's durability, her ability to return after injury, and whether the Chicago Sky could even rely on her comeback. This wasn't some minor jab either. This was a direct attack on one of the most respected veterans in the league. It wasn't just shade. It was a slap to the face.
I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy, but it shouldn't shock me coming from this fan base at all. Oh, but she's on video now, and she's made a direct shot. Courtney has answered the shot from Angel Reese. And I got to be honest with you. How much, here, I'm going to speculate out loud. How much shit was Angel Reese talking in that Chicago Sky locker room last year around Kennedy Carter about Caitlin Clark? All right. Think about that a minute. The influence there. I got to tell you, I don't think it was Kennedy Carter that blew that locker room up. I think it was Angel Reese.
But here's where it gets baffling. Why, at just the start of her sophomore year, would Angel Reese go down this path? Why would she risk alienating not only one of her teammates, but also a seasoned veteran who has fought through injuries and earned multiple championships? Reese isn't even 2 full seasons into her career. Yet, she's busy calling out one of the most accomplished players in the history of the league. Meanwhile, players like Caitlin Clark, Reese's rival-turned-peer, have already cemented themselves as cornerstones for their franchises. Clark, for example, is quickly becoming the face of the Indiana Fever and a mainstay in the WNBA. Meanwhile, Reese is turning her own locker room against her. That's not a good look for any player trying to establish themselves as a leader.
Vandersloot wasn't going for it. And I'm going to tell you right now, Courtney Vandersloot has won a title in Chicago, and she will not be playing with Angel Reese next year. I'm going to tell you that right now. Angel Reese is good as gone. Good as gone.
After tearing her ACL, Vandersloot put in the work, the long hours of rehab, the difficult workouts, and the constant interviews in which she stated her goal of returning better than before. She's been through it all. The last thing she needed, especially from someone who was supposed to be a teammate, was for Reese to publicly suggest that she might be washed up. Yet, that's exactly what Reese did. And she did it in front of the entire world in an interview, no less. Now, this is the part where veterans like Vandersloot shake their heads. Sure, frustrations and locker room clashes happen everywhere in professional sports. That's just the nature of the game. But what Reese did was different. She took it to the media. She didn't just vent behind closed doors. She made sure the entire basketball world knew her thoughts on Vandersloot's future, publicly suggesting that a Hall of Fame caliber player like Vandersloot was unreliable. That's not just disrespectful. It's a trust destroyer. It's the kind of comment that can cause division within a team. And here's where Courtney's response comes in. When Vandersloot was asked about her future and whether age would be a factor in her return, she didn't dodge the question. She didn't play it safe. She didn't give a politically correct answer. Instead, she looked at the interviewer and said something definitive. Contrary to what people think, my age is not a factor. I'm coming back better than ever. No passive-aggressive social media posts, no cryptic messages, just a direct counterpunch aimed squarely at Reese. It was a clean shot. Don't question my game. Don't question my age. And don't question my career. Let's take a step back. What Vandersloot's statement really signifies is that she's already built her legacy. She's done the hard work, earned her rings, and cemented her place in WNBA history. Reese, on the other hand, is still trying to carve out hers. Instead of focusing on improving her own game, she's out here swinging punches at a player whose accolades she hasn't even come close to matching yet. Courtney has more championships than Angel Reese has playoff wins. That's a reality Reese will have to come to terms with eventually. Run race. Meanwhile, take Caitlin Clark. Yes, the same player who Reese's fans love to compare her to. Clark is in her second year just like Reese, but how she handles that second season is night and day. Clark has been relentlessly fouled, has faced physical play, and has had to deal with constant targeting. Yet, how does she respond? She keeps her head down, focuses on her team, and does everything in her power to push Indiana forward. You don't see Clark throwing teammates under the bus or publicly questioning veterans. She's focused on being the face of a franchise, leading by example and handling adversity with grace. Run race, not so much. Instead of leading by example, she's creating drama within her own team. The infamous suspension, a half-game benching. It's laughable. Chicago essentially sent the message that they can't control their star. So, they'll give her a token punishment of 20 minutes on the bench in hopes she'll behave. That doesn't scream discipline. That screams weakness. If you're the Chicago Sky, that's a look you don't want. Not the fans, not the media, and certainly not the players themselves. Ronest's response. It was a clear contrast to Reese's antics. Courtney didn't need to scream or rant. She simply stated the facts, backed by her decades of experience and achievements. That's what made her response so powerful. Meanwhile, Reese continues to show a lack of maturity. letting her mouth run faster than her development. This is where the contrast between the two players becomes even more glaring. Rona's response. Let's now dive into Reese's supporters. Her fan base, they've been brutal. Instead of defending their player with class, many of them have resorted to personal attacks against Vandersloot. They've dragged her name to the mud, belittled her career, and thrown insults. It's childish, unnecessary, and ultimately reflects poorly on Ree. Whether she likes it or not, your fan base is an extension of you. And what does it say about Ree that her supporters are so quick to tear down others? Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's fans have built her up, not torn others down. It's a stark difference in the way two players are handling their rise to stardom. Vandersloot doesn't need Twitter battles or Instagram rants to prove her worth. Her legacy is self-evident when she says she's coming. Back stronger than ever, people believe it because her career speaks for itself. But when Reed talks about the team needing better players and throwing veterans under the bus, it's hard to take her seriously. The credibility gap between the two is undeniable. Reed keeps talking about wanting better players around her, about wanting to win championships and elevate the Chicago sky. But what kind of top player would want to join a team where the star forward publicly disrespects veterans and discredits the players who paved the way before her? Free agents pay attention to these things. If I'm a top-tier player looking for a team, why would I sign with a franchise where the locker room feels more like a reality TV show than a professional basketball team? To clear the Chicago Sky management is not blameless in all of this. They've let this tension fester, allowing the locker room to become divided. The half-game suspension is a reflection of their inability to take decisive action. Either stand by your player or hold her accountable. The half-hearted approach just makes the organization look weak, directionless, and indecisive. Ree still has potential. There's no denying that. She's a force on the boards, a passionate competitor, and a player who gives everything she has on every possession. But in the unforgiving world of professional sports, if your drama outweighs your production, you won't last long. Right now, Angel Reese is dangerously close to walking that line. Reese's suspension didn't just raise questions about her maturity. It raised doubts about the direction the Chicago Sky are headed. A half-aim benching might be enough for a high school player, but is laughable for a professional athlete. It's a weak attempt to show discipline, while still keeping her on the court to sell tickets. That's not leadership, that's cowardice. On the other hand, Courtney Vandersloot has demonstrated what true leadership looks like for over a decade. You don't rack up 7 assist titles or win championships by accident. You do it by showing up, by earning your keep, and by holding yourself to a higher standard. When Vandersloot tore her ACL, she didn't whine. She didn't point fingers. She went to work. And now she's back on the comeback trail. That's a lesson Ree could learn, but it doesn't seem like she's interested in listening. Instead, she seems more focused on controlling her narrative, whether through public comments, fan wars, or on-court antics. But here's the problem. When you're a sophomore in the league with no playoff success to back it up, that narrative better be grounded in production. Otherwise, you just look like you're talking a lot without backing it up with results. The league is finally growing, and with that growth comes a spotlight on players like Caitlin Clark. She's the one bringing fans to arenas and growing the game. Ree, on the other hand, is using her spotlight to create distractions. The WNBA doesn't need that. It needs stability and maturity. 2 things Ree hasn't shown just yet. Courtney's public response was calculated. It wasn't born out of defensiveness, but out of the need to shut down the growing narrative. She doesn't have to prove herself. Her career is proof enough. By speaking up, she reminded everyone that respect in this league is earned, not demanded. Meanwhile, Ree is in danger of losing, not just the locker room, but the respect of the league itself. If she continues on this path, her career could follow the same trajectory as so many others who burn bright for a season only to fizzle out due to drama and immaturity. This isn't a prediction, it's a warning. If Angel Reese doesn't find a way to rein in her behavior and focus on her game, she could become just another cautionary tale, a player with endless talent, but no longevity. Now, let's revisit that Caitlin Clark comparison one final time. Both players are entering their second year in the league. But while Clark is emerging as the future of the league, Rhee is a polarizing figure whose name is associated with controversy, not accomplishment. Both are talented, but only one is setting herself up for long-term success. Chicago has a decision to make. Do they keep catering to Rhee, hoping she matures into the star they want, or do they cut their losses and trade her before her value dips any further? Either way, Vanderloot's response has made one thing clear. If Rhee can't respect veterans like Courtney, why should anyone believe she'll respect the team, the league, or the game itself? Ron Ravitza Bottoms. This saga isn't just about one suspension, one comment, or one player's antics. It's about the culture of the team, the direction of the franchise, and the future of a player who could either become the cornerstone of a new era or a cautionary tale of talent wasted. Courtney Vandersloot didn't just put Angel Reese in her place. She reminded everyone that respect has to be earned, not demanded. Legends don't take cheap shots lying down. And while Angel Reese may think she's speaking her truth, what she's really doing is exposing her own immaturity. So now it's your turn. Do you think Angel Reese can rebound from this mess, or has she spiraled too far out of control? Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your opinion.